In today's world, we often strive for beautification, beautifying our surroundings, our appearance, and our society. However, true beautification extends beyond the surface level. It involves beautifying our language, thoughts, and most importantly, our hearts. So, how can we beautify our hearts and transform our lives? While the concept of equality is simple, there are many inequalities that exist in the world. We see disparities in wealth, intelligence, race, and gender. Buddhism, on the other hand, advocates for equality. Despite external differences in wealth, intelligence, race, and gender, our fundamental nature is equal. Men can renounce worldly life and attain enlightenment, and so can women. Speaking of race, although different ethnicities may appear distinct, they are fundamentally equal. In India, there are divisions among castes, such as Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras, each with different treatment and status. Yet, the Buddha advocated for the unity of all castes through the monastic order, treating everyone with an equal and compassionate heart. Just as rivers and streams, despite their differences, all flow into the same salty ocean. Although there may be differences in wealth among individuals, a person lacking virtue is inferior to someone with virtue. One's character cannot be defined solely by wealth or poverty. Regardless of gender, age, wealth, or race, the dignity of a person's character remains the same. Our fundamental nature is equal. If we can achieve gender equality, racial equality, equality between individuals, and equality among all sentient beings, we embody the concept of no distinction between mind, Buddha, and sentient beings as described in the Diamond Sutra. We can observe this equality in nature. The sky covers the earth equally. The earth nurtures all living beings, and the sun, moon, and stars shine equally, enabling the perpetual cycle of seasons. Freedom, equality, and compassion are privileges bestowed upon humanity by a higher power. Therefore, it is essential to respect others and treat them with an equal heart. As the saying goes, if we respect others, others will respect us. If we love others, others will love us. The Buddha renounced his royal status and chose the path of renunciation to break down social hierarchies and promote equality among all sentient beings. In today's society, many people chant slogans of equality, but their actions often fall short of the true essence of equality. There is a fable that goes, a cat was chasing a mouse, and the mouse was extremely distressed. The mouse protested to the cat, saying, "We all have life, so why do you use your strength to oppress the weak? This is unfair." The cat responded to the mouse, saying, "Since you talk about equality, let me explain it to you. Why don't you eat me?" The mouse replied, "How could I eat you?" The cat then said, "If you can't eat me, then why do you cry about inequality?" So the mouse became the sacrificial victim of so-called equality. Often, what is referred to as equality is deceptive or false equality. Only Buddhism pursues true equality from the perspective of our intrinsic nature and character. There is also a story in Buddhist scriptures. There was a snake, and the head of the snake always led the way. One day, the tail of the snake said, "We can continue moving forward solely because my tail is swaying at the back. If I stop swaying, how can we move forward? I should be in front." The snake's head replied, "I've always been the one leading in front." The tail of the snake didn't agree and tied itself to a tree, immobilizing the snake's head. After a while, the hunger became unbearable, and the snake's head had to agree to let the tail lead. Since the tail had no eyes, it couldn't determine the direction and ended up falling off a cliff and dying. Therefore, equality is not blind or arbitrary. It is rational and based on appropriate use and division of labor. The snake's head and tail serve each other, just like our six senses. Eyes are used for seeing, ears for hearing, and nose for smelling. This is appropriate use and division of labor. If we insist on using our ears to see or our eyes to hear, we won't be able to distinguish beauty from ugliness or fragrance from stench. Imagine a building on fire. occupied by many disabled individuals. Everyone tries to escape, and the limping person carries the blind person, while the blind person leads the deaf person. They rely on each other to flee the fire. If everyone tries to save themselves individually, they may all perish in the flames. Understanding causality leads to understanding equality. True equality lies in our intrinsic nature because nothing in this world can exist independently. Everything is a result of temporary causes and conditions coming together. If it is a union of various causes and conditions, we should respect each other. That is true equality. We must live in communities. We should not exclude others or despise anyone. Treat others with an equal heart and avoid comparing ourselves to others. As the saying goes, comparing oneself to others can lead to jealousy and frustration. Having wealth, beauty, and material possessions does not guarantee happiness. If we can approach life and interactions with an equal heart without self-abandonment or blaming others, we naturally cultivate contentment and joy. There are no naturally enlightened beings like Shakyamuni Buddha, nor are there naturally born Maitreya Buddhas. Although we are ordinary beings, we can also become Buddhas. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are awakened beings, while we are unweakened Buddhas. Understanding the inseparability of the mind, Buddha, and sentient beings naturally brings forth a heart of self-respect and self-esteem. If we can view society with an equal heart, then everyone within the four seas is our brother. Thus, an equal heart not only beautifies ourselves, but also beautifies the masses and everything in the world. Patience is an essential practice. The scriptures say, among all practices, patience is considered the foremost. Without patience, even with some cultivation and merits, we cannot attain accomplishments. Therefore, among all practices and merits, patience is considered the foremost. When it comes to patience, we should be able to endure poverty, difficulties, and suffering. Sometimes, when faced with someone's anger, if we can endure a moment of anger, we can avoid disputes and arguments. Even if we are slandered, looked down upon, or misunderstood, we should endure it. As the saying goes, endure a moment for calm seas and wide skies. People often easily develop attachment towards people and situations they like, and generate aversion towards those they dislike. If we can endure the craving in our minds and refrain from grasping, we will not suffer from the affliction of gain and loss. When faced with unfavorable circumstances and difficult people, if we can endure a moment of anger and not harbor hatred, we will not fear insults or even calamities that befall us. Enduring a moment of frustration adds to our strength. Having power does not mean we can overpower others, and being able to insult others does not indicate strength. Coercion and brute force cannot quell the resistance of people, as evidenced by China's Qin Shi Huang and Germany's Adolf Hitler. Only the power of endurance is the greatest. Take Han Exen of the Han Dynasty, for example. He endured humiliation beneath his crotch and eventually achieved great accomplishments. The Sutra of the Buddha's teachings on cause and effect states, if one cannot joyfully endure the poison of verbal abuse, one cannot be called a person of wisdom on the path. The word endurance itself implies having a knife in our hearts, enduring without changing our expression. It requires great patience, and although it may be painful in the moment, it often leads to unexpected results. The virtue of endurance is often beyond the reach of those who merely observe precepts, and those who can practice endurance are considered people of great strength. Endurance must be practiced in action to truly appreciate its benefits. We can speak fewer words and suppress our anger, not engaging in heated arguments over trivial matters. Even if we win an argument, what do we truly gain? The great monk Xuanzang, who traveled to India to seek the teachings, overcame various difficulties, including traversing an 800-mile desert. His ability to maintain such lofty aspirations, strong determination, and willpower was undoubtedly due to his endurance. Bodhidharma, the founder of Zen Buddhism, sat facing the wall at Shaolin Temple on Mount Song for 9 years. Without sufficient endurance, how could Chan, Zen, Buddhism have been transmitted to China and flourished? Endurance brings 5 benefits. If we can endure, no one can hold a grudge against us. If we can endure, we can accomplish all endeavors. If we can endure, we will earn the respect and love of others. Endurance brings a good reputation. Endurance leads to the path of goodness. When we encounter unfavorable situations and difficult people, if we can remain calm and reflect on ourselves, we may find a smooth path. Resisting with anger only worsens the situation. We should frequently reflect on ourselves, introspect, and ask ourselves if our actions and intentions are worthy of ourselves, others, our country, society, parents, and loved ones. A sense of shame can cleanse the sins within our hearts and dignify our appearance. Shame is like a precious gem, adorning us with grace and nobility. Throughout our lives, we may have flaws and make mistakes. However, it is not the fear of making mistakes that we should be concerned about, but rather the lack of shame and self-reflection. Knowing shame and feeling remorse gives us strength, enabling us to start anew. What are the benefits of shame? Shame can lead to self-improvement. Shame can increase courage. Shame can foster respect for others. Shame can cultivate faith in the teachings of Buddhism. Shame can eradicate negative karma. Shame can bring liberation. There was a swan that hatched 3 goslings. That year, there was a severe drought, and all the plants and fruits withered. The swan couldn't find food and watched as the goslings suffered from hunger. So, the swan fed them with the flesh from its own armpit. When the goslings ate the flesh, they felt something strange. The taste of the flesh resembled their mother's scent. Could it be that their mother fed them with her own flesh? The more they thought about it, the sadder they felt, and the goslings couldn't eat anymore. Seeing her children not eating, the mother swan felt even more sorrowful. This incident was known to the heavenly beings, and they praised, saying, "For a mother, the heart of compassion and grace is indescribable. Only filial piety is rare in the world." The Buddhas have taught that filial piety should come first. We are able to survive in society thanks to the power of the masses. Everything we need in life comes from the collective effort. As the saying goes, a drop of water returns a spring. Nowadays, many young people indulge in luxury and waste, often complaining about the world and being dissatisfied with everything around them. Most people only think about themselves, their own character, dignity, needs, happiness, and well-being. They expect others to care for them, respect them, console them, and love them. This self-centered mindset rarely considers how they can show respect to others or what they can give to others. How many years of life do we have? How much can we contribute to our country? What kind of dedication can we offer to society? What kind of gratitude can we show to our parents? Everything we possess is given and helped by others. Shouldn't we be content and grateful instead of complaining and being dissatisfied? Look at a dog. When we feed it, it wags its tail and guards our home. When we have a cat and prepare food for it, it happily meows. Even animals have a sense of gratitude, so how much more should we, as humans, have it? Therefore, to beautify our lives, if everyone has a grateful heart, wouldn't that create a more beautiful life? So, how can we beautify our lives? We can do so by embracing an attitude of equality, endurance, shame, and gratitude. Thanks for joining us on this mind-blowing video. I bet you're brimming with jaw-dropping revelations, sparking a wildfire of inspiration and endless excitement. So why not share this cosmic wisdom with your awesome pals? Oh, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more mind-boggling content. Catch you on the flip side, amigos.